Yes. So let me welcome Prerna Madam. Prerna Madam have quite a great amount of experience in terms of Agile, Scrum, business analyst, and other processes and policies. She has been working with banking domain for quite a few years, and she was instrumental in helping out various CXO, PMO level personalities to make sure we have all our policy aligned with the latest quality policies and governmental procedures. So she's a really great teacher. I'm knowing Prerna ma'am for quite a few years now. So I'll hand over the baton to Prerna madam after we have a look at our homework for 5-10 minutes. Okay, Prerna madam, is that fine with you? Hello. Hello. Prerna ma'am, could you hear me? Hello. I think she got some challenge. No problem. So yes, you want to go ahead with the homework, ma'am? Can I make you co-host or something? Hello.
Can I share the screen?
Yes, that's right. Let me, I need to make you a host or something, right? So give me a minute. How do you do that again? Okay, more. Okay, over here, right? Yes. Welcome, Nabila. Good evening to you too.
Guys, hear me?
Yes, ma'am. How are you? Yes, Sabha ma'am, could you start? Could you present yourself?
Yes.
Please go ahead. I've also made Prerna madam as a co-host.
Okay.
Yes.
So can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the minutes of the meeting I have made.
Okay,
It
great.
was the where I used to work in a hospital.
Uh-huh.
So we used to have an minutes of the meeting every month or whenever it's required. So this was the minutes of the meeting I prepared with the resident medical officers. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So the date I've given, it was addressed by our doctor, the members who attended the meeting, all the members,
Uh-huh.
and I prepared the minutes noted by me, the
Uh-huh.
duration of the minutes, and the
Uh-huh.
main agenda of the meeting was that to prepare the resident medical doctor for the NABH assessment. In hospital in India, I know we used to do NABH accreditation. Without accreditation, the hospitals won't run. It's like
Right.
we have to do, yeah. So like what were the point of discuss?
Uh-huh.
Then we have divided the responsible uh, by specialty wise. Like for general medicine, these doctors was allocated. For orthopedics, this doctor were allocated. Like this, it was done.
Wow. Uh-huh.
So this was the this is the minutes of the meeting I've prepared for this one.
Right. You're right, because wherever you join, right, they have their own way of doing it. They have their own
Yes.
format. They will basically share the template, and you normally fill in the blanks rather than we invent something new. And whenever
Yeah.
you be there for, let's say, 1 year or so, then you start basically inculcating how we can do better, or
Yes.
you start basically improving the process. Here, I believe there should be some action points to the name. So who can
Yeah. Actually, point discuss and the action point should be there. One column should be there.
or below table you can mention in the statement as well.
Okay.
Has been covered by Mr. So and so, and this person is going to make sure we'll assign these department-wise, leaders, mentors, or doctors, and within so and so date. So there's an action and there's a target date. This completes the whole thought process of initiating some new things, right? So
Yes.
we are looking for something like that. See, again, there's nothing wrong and right here. We are speculating, right?
Just yeah. It's a process. We have to learn through by doing and doing.
Perfect, perfect. Yes. So again, you can't say something right or wrong. We paint the picture, right? We conceive
Yes.
the solution. So that's why it's an artwork rather than a scientific. But of course, we have some templates, we have some, guidance points. We do some, go according to the policy procedure or the quality procedure of the organizations we work in. But overall, we try to, utilize the tools to the best of our knowledge, and that's the fun of it. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So one more I've done, but I've not yet completed,
Okay.
is the business process model.
Okay. Wow. This is a business process model for what, ma'am?
I actually see the what example you have was giving attendance management system. So I thought, why if see I have a bit of experience of hospital, why not use that patients coming to the reception? Then
Yes,
I've
sure.
given the doctor, then lab diagnostic test, and
Wow.
admission department. I've made us this. These are my swimming lanes. Okay, so I've
Uh-huh.
just started doing.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
have to complete this one because see the first patient entered the hospital,
Right.
then they generate a token number. So is an
Yeah.
then they waits for
Right.
then the waits for the number to pop up. So I've given an intermediate because it's not an end process. So I've given
Right.
a clock also. They're waiting for the number.
Right.
Then goes to the reception after the number shown in the screen.
Perfect.
As it is an ongoing uh, communication, so that when they generate the token number, the receptionist receive the token,
Right.
then they calls that number like token number 1. Then the patient goes, if he is registered, then by seeing the prescription they will refer if the patient has came for the test, or came for the doctor visit, or they came for any admission, direct
Okay.
admission.
So it's a decision box.
Yeah, it's a decision box. Then I have
Perfect.
to prepare everything. I'm still doing this one.
Perfect, ma'am. And Lucid Chart is really,
Yeah,
great tool. It's a
yeah.
free of cost. Yes, there are some
It is
limitations. That's okay. We need to fight with these limitations.
yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. And it's really good hard work. And at least we have started thinking on that, right? At least we are walking
And
to
yeah,
what it matters. Yes.
and one more. I will not take so much time.
Wow.
I've done one
Uh-huh.
high and like front office enhancement solution into
Uh-huh.
a token system and medical record,
Uh-huh.
electronic medical records. The solutions I came if we add this one, so the solution is like then the queue system will be reduced. Patient can sit, the elderly patient can sit one place and wait for the token number to come, and there will be a less medical error because less queue system, so the front office officers can very minutely can put out the details of the patients.
Yeah. Give me
And
one.
for the medical,
Yes. Basically, reduce the key is a requirement, right?
okay.
So the key should be on the right hand.
Oh, okay. I think I've done the sideways, no?
No. These are the problems and these are the solutions.
Okay,
So problem should come on left
okay,
side. Solution
okay,
should come on the right side, right? So reduce the
okay,
key requirement. That's what
okay.
your observation or somebody guide you for that. Then you
Yes, yes.
can sit a wait for pop up.
Like for the like in hospital, what happened? No, most the elder patient come. If there
Right,
is no token system, so they have to stand in the queue only. They have
right,
to wait for their number. So what we have done, like a project, we have done a project like this. So we have thought that if the patient sit in a one place, you will arrange the sitting arrangement so they can sit and they can wait for the token number.
right. Okay, that's perfect. Means which only we okay. That's okay. And less medical error. Yes, that's the solution. That's what we even less medical error can be a requirement, ma'am. Go paperless can be a
Yes.
requirement. Privacy
Okay.
enhancement solution. The solution is like what you're trying to. How do you solve? Trying to solve these problems? Like reduce
Okay.
the
Okay.
right. So how you're solving reduce the queue? We are automating it. So automation can be one. So there will be a tokening machine. So supporting tokening machine for automating the manual queuing process. Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
there's a sequential wait for patients.
Okay.
So there are new
Okay.
processes and something like that.
Okay.
Issues or the requirements or the wish list on left hand side, and there could be solutions on the right hand. That's the
Okay.
beauty of HLD. And what this
Okay.
bears out, for multiple requirement, you can have one solution. For one requirement, you can have multiple solutions as well. So it's one to
Okay.
many scenario. Okay. But still, what we're trying to do, we are trying to pair them up so that the
Yes.
others that what's the bird's eye view or where we are heading the solutions to, right? How we are progressing the solution in our thought process, or how the
Okay.
thought wish list being converted to the solution requirement features and those scenarios as well. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yes. 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 Now
Hmm.
I've understood. Okay.
No, there's
Okay.
again nothing wrong and right, right? Somebody might
Mm.
find more, interesting because they are more, they can more connect to a thought process, and these things do happen. So there's nothing right or wrong. This is pure artwork, right? And we are trying
Mm.
to, understand the thought process and give a solution to them. So for some,
Okay. Mm.
can be a really great HLD. But if you look at from IT perspective, where we are going to work for, right? They normally categorize this thing as strict rules like requirement on the left side, wish list on the left side, solutions on the right side.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Just get through. Okay. Chalo, chalo.
Okay.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. Anybody else want to present? Anybody else have worked on this? Akhil sir, Babuji, Vandana ma'am.
No, boss, I
No.
haven't had a chance to work.
Could you please give a try, because at least HLD is really crucial. Forget about the BP and all. Use case diagram, HLD is almost a must thing, right? Okay. Just I'll take 2 or 3 minutes for Nabila. Nabila, am I pronouncing your name correctly, ma'am? Nabila, could you hear us?
Sorry, you are pronouncing my name correct. Yes.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, ma'am. And please pardon me if ever mispronounced in the for that, because it's quite new name. Is it a?
No. It's okay. You got it right. You said it right.
Thank you. Where are you from, ma'am? Means we would like to learn about you so that we can give you a correct guidance, or even others can interact with you. This is a group learning, right? So we are learning together. Even as a mentor, I learn, and we also try to improve ourselves. So for that, we would like to understand your background overall. If you could please give me, in terms of educations and in terms of your experience, please.
Raised in England. My parents are from Pakistan, and my educational background, I completed high school. I went to college in the States. I didn't complete college, but I didn't go for anything IT related. I was going to become a pediatrician, but life happened. But as far as work goes, I've worked in like customer service. I've worked in technical support. I haven't really done any like digging into IT, but I would love to get into it. My family is very IT and very tech, like very technical. So there's that.
Yes, it's really great introduction, ma'am. The way we discuss is basically we try to learn from this IT world, right? So the like in every profession we have specific terminology. Be it IT, we use something like high level diagrams, we use something like use case diagram. These words might find strange to you on your first day. So let's do one thing. Let's have an additional session whenever you are free in your morning. If you buzz me on WhatsApp, we can have an hour or 2 hour session just to understand how how we progress till date. We have I think around 6-7, if I'm not mistaken, 5-6-7 sessions where we try to understand the business analysis processes, tools, techniques, policies, procedures. Right? Business analysis basically understanding the vision mission shared by our client. So if as a business analyst or as a project manager, you go to a client. So he tells me like, hey Nabila, I want to create some solution because I have this problem, that problem. We normally discuss a solution called employee attendance management enhancement. So we consider that we work for a really good company, Infosys, and with your sales manager, you go to a client called State Farm. So State Farm having problem with their manual attendance. State Farm is one of the prime insurance agency within Midwest region. They have offices around 6-7 different countries, and they're huge. But still they want to improve their, this is again a hypothetical example we normally take. So as a business analyst, you go to State Farm, your first meeting with the VPHR, who try to explain you as a business analyst with your sales manager, hey Infosys, I want to improve my attendance because there are lots of proxies, lots of challenges, this cold, that one, supervisor, talking on a phone, people, skipping the attendance and so on and so forth. So I want to automate it completely. So what we suggest them, something biometric, ID scanners, and all those type of whatever modern things available. Then we suggest them automating those efforts with cloud deployment, 24/7 centralized database, and so on and so forth. Now the words which I'm speaking, they are more from IT perspective. These words you might not understand in the first go, but for that we'll have some extra session. So basically walk you through these different terminology, like what you mean by cloud, what you mean by centralized database, what you mean by automation exactly on the ground, right? For these we will have some additional session. But luckily today you're going to start with a altogether new capsule, and Prerna madam will guide you on that. This is specifically to do with the software development life cycle, SDLC. That's how we refer it. In IT, we use this terminology, SDLC, HLD, and various other words. We'll learn it step by step. So first few sessions might be a bit of surprise in terms of terminology, in terms of these weird words you might hear first time. So please bear with us. You can ask question wherever you have a challenge in understanding, and we'll there for you. Don't ever feel like you are lagging, or you ever lagged or something like that. Okay, just for a couple of sessions you need to understand these differences, right? These really I'll not say difficult, but these really a professional aligned word, right? Like if you go to a doctor, he normally speaks his in medicine terminology, which is quite difficult, very difficult spellings to pronounce and all, right? If you go to lawyer, they have their own way of basically tackling the problems. If you meet any CEO, CTO, they normally talk in their own length and breadth of words. So this way, every profession have their own verbose. That's what we normally call to be used. Same thing with IT, be it a business analyst, be it a project manager, all these guys, they use some IT words, which we'll learn in all these sessions, and we'll try to basically evolve with those things. And that's how we use our interview to clear all these obstacles, so that we can present them as an experienced IT candidate. For that, we need to learn these words. We need to master on these words up to a great extent, and we'll work on that together. It's nothing like I'm being into IT for around 28 plus years. So my normal speaking is also IT. So if I speak to a doctor, he says, "Oh man, what are you trying to tell? Why do you bring technology everywhere?" But this is an enabler. This is how we do. So technology everywhere, we try to automate 24/7, and the SLAs and these type of words, we keep using it. So for that, you need to really work with us, and we'll have some extra session together. We'll work together and build these things. Does that make sense, Nabila ma'am?
So much.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Prerna ma'am, could you please continue? Have I make you co-host? Yes, ma'am. Prerna ma'am. Okay, till that time, let's she can't unmute. Okay, give me a minute. I think she had some challenge. Unmute. Stop working. Okay. Let me go over to the let's revise on something like high level diagrams, right? So what are high level diagrams? Can anybody telling their words? Means what you understand by high level diagrams? Can anybody go read? Yes, Prerna ma'am. Prerna ma'am can speak now. Yes, ma'am, we can hear you. Please go ahead. Yeah,
Hello, Ravindra, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. First of all, thank you so much. I had some technical issues. That's the reason I couldn't join
No,
earlier. So thank you so much for having me. And I would just like to give a quick introduction of myself. And before that, I'll just share my screen. Ravindra, please allow me. I think I can. Yes.
yes.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, yes. It's visible, ma'am. We can hear you loud and clear. Please go ahead. Could you hear us, ma'am? Hello? Could you hear us? Some challenge, I believe. Hello? Yes.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible. I think your speakers are not working or something.
Hello, Ravindra. Can everybody hear me? Sorry, I'm extremely sorry. Hello.
Yeah, ma'am, we can hear you.
Great, great, great. Thank you so much. So great start of the session by these all technical issues, but I'm back. Yeah, can you see my screen, guys? Am I is my screen visible to you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. So before spending any more time, let me introduce myself. I'm Prerna. I've worked in IT for more than 14 years. Currently, I'm working with a leading bank into their IT department as a PMO. PMO stands for Project Management Office. I take care of entire projects under my senior, that is a senior VP person. And I have done my MC, that is Masters in Computer Application in 2008 from Mumbai University. And post that, I have worked with companies like TCS, L&T Infotech, Accenture, IndusInd Bank, Axis Bank. You know, all these variety of domains I have worked with, majorly in finance and mutual fund. I'm also, certified in Lean Six Sigma, and I love to have these training sessions, and I'm actively participated in team management and conflict resolutions. So this is from my side, and I really wanted to know you all, though I have been listening Ravindra earlier in this session, and you had given great presentation, really good hard work. Can I request all of you to just, give me a brief about yourself, please, starting with the participants? I would like to know your name, where are you from, and what are your educational and work-wise experience. Yeah, please. I understood about Nabila. So Nabila, I'm fine with. Thank you so much. Others, I would really like to know, please.
Hi. I'm Shoiba Nandi.
Yeah, hi,
I am
Shoiba.
I am from New Jersey. I did my bachelor and master degree in hospital administration,
Okay,
and
great.
I have worked 5 years in a hospital industry as an quality assurance and project coordinator.
That's really
I
nice. Yes.
And I am also certified in Lean Six Sigma Green Belt.
Wow, that's really nice.
Yeah, but it's long back. There is
That would be with respect to the healthcare management, right?
yes,
Healthcare
yes,
system.
with the proper
Yes,
with the
great.
healthcare. Yeah, and my
Yes.
background is, and I am comfortable. I was from the first only from the healthcare only. I didn't switch
Okay.
anywhere, so I worked in hospital sector. And 2016 I came to US, and recently I've got my EAD. So I thought why not I start my career again. So I got to
Perfect.
know about
Good
Guru School,
decision.
and yeah, then I attend that counseling session. Sir has guided me, and he told me to do this course. So I'm just
Yeah.
again I am coming back
Yes,
to
you
my
are at
career.
the right place at the right time. Most welcome,
Yeah.
Shiba. Really nice to know about you. It's Shiba, right? Shiba. Just
No,
wanted to.
it's a Shoiba in Bengal.
It's
We are Bengali,
Shoiba.
so we
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Shoiba.
yeah.
Yeah,
Great. Shoiba. Thank you so
yeah.
much. Yeah. Can we go to
Thank you.
Akhil, please? Welcome. Can we go to Akhil, please?
Hi, I am Akhil,
Hi, Akhil.
basically from Mumbai. Hi.
Oh, great. Me too. Me too. Great. Yeah.
Yeah, I moved to US a couple of years back.
Okay.
I've primarily been into service industry operations and customer service
Okay.
almost all my career. Um, Predominantly with the travel line, and then I worked with some media companies, for some of the coms, like not on the reporting side of the media, but on the supporting side of the media. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
Worked for companies like India Times, worked with Rediff.com for some time. I worked for the longest time in the travel line, and then I chose to move to US. And then here I am
Nice.
looking for opportunities. Travel, as we all know, has been badly affected by
Yes,
COVID,
yes,
and that's
yes.
what
The
made
last
me.
2.5 years,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
It
it's
is
been
recovering
insane.
though now.
So,
Yeah,
and
so good times are coming for sure.
y- yep, some signs of recovery, but yeah, I mean, just when
Yeah.
things looked all right, that damn Putin kind of decided to, go to war.
That's a
So,
great
kind of
decision.
things
It's
like that.
always Yes, it's always good to have parallel tracks going on. You already have worked in that industry, so now this industry would be more than easy for you to tackle because see what I can see, you all have dealt with people, and even in IT industry, when we go, we work on projects, we have to deal with people. As a BA, as a Scrum Master, as a product owner, we all have to work with people, work in a team. So I think halfway you're already there. So thank you so much
Yeah,
for your details shared. Thank you so much, Akhil. Now we can go to
pleasure, man.
Babu Venkat. Yeah, welcome, Babu Venkat.
Yes,
Please.
my name is Babu Venkat. I'm from
Yeah,
Chennai.
hello.
I'm from
Oh,
Chennai.
great,
Okay,
great,
I came to USA in 2007.
great.
So
Okay,
so
nice.
so so after coming here, I finished my CPA course,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a core accounting guy. I'm working
Oh,
as a
wow,
senior accounting
nice,
manager, and
nice.
I don't have any IT background. So I came through Guru School through one of my friends. So I thought I can, get some certification like a business analyst. Then I,
Right,
I
right,
then,
right.
then I talked to Dave Kalakar, Mr. Dave, and he suggested
Yes,
me to take this course so that I can, maybe I can switch my career to the
right.
next level. In fact, so that is my background, and
That's
I'm here.
superb, sir. That's superb. I have done my graduation in commerce. That's why I said great when you said accounting. So even in accounting, you must have, interacted with so many other teams, for all the data, raw data and disbursement of payments. So that's fine. There is no worry if you don't have any IT background. This course is good enough to equip you to enable you to work with people and work in IT. So welcome again. Thank you so much for your information.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, sir. Can we go to Vandana, please? Vandana Verma.
Hi, Prerna.
Hi,
Um,
Vandana.
Hi. I'm based in Toronto, Canada,
Okay.
and I came here in 2004 after I got married and
Nice.
worked for IT companies for a
Oh,
couple of
great.
years and had two kids in between. And
Mm-hmm.
left my work in 2010, and
Okay.
since then I have not been working. And
Okay.
then due to COVID, it was bad, and I had my parents to look after. So
Okay.
they were
Okay.
in their 90s. So
Okay. Okay.
so now I have decided to actually get into job market. I had little girls, so I just didn't want to send them to daycare and all that. So we just
Right.
decided
Right.
that one can stay home
That's
and
right.
look
That's
after.
right. That's like a part and parcel of life, and that's a good decision if you have to
Yes and
think
no.
upon. Yeah, yeah. In a way, yes, definitely. See, now you're here, so trust me, you will not regret or you will not think otherwise because you already have IT experience, and we are here to enrich that furthermore. Right,
I know, but
Ravindra?
it's been a
So
11 year
yes.
gap and it's completely rusty,
That's
right? So
fine. That's fine. That's fine. See, why I have been asking. Okay, let me just say thank you to Nabila. Nabila, am I pronouncing your name right? Nabila.
Yes, you are. You are.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Thank you. I have heard about your background, so I will not request you to repeat as everybody is kind of well equipped with you now. So first of all, thank you so much. Thank you so much for bearing with me. You know, they say till yesterday when I was working on the PPT, everything was going fine. But now, when I started the session, I had some technical issues, but I'm back and I'm so happy. And the bottom line or one guiding line which I want to share with you all is when you're here in Guru schools and when you're in the session with the trainers, keep all those backgrounds or prejudice or thought process away that, okay, I don't have technical background, I don't have IT. No, you have worked, or even if you do not have worked as, as people as coming from this community, we all deal with variety of people. It can be family, friends, when you visit some places, shopping, anywhere. So in IT, this particular course is specifically for dealing with people, and then the required trainings we are giving you, right? So be pumped up, be happy, be positive, and always join this session with this new excitement that something new you're going to learn today. And feel free, please feel free to interrupt me whenever you want. You have any questions, you have any doubts, just ask me. If you're not clear, I'll just start explaining thereon. So let us have a dialogue instead of a monologue. I really like to have interactive sessions when I'll keep asking you if you have any doubts, and if you want any further explanation or anything, please feel free. We are as a team here, so it will not be one way that I'm just talking and you're listening. No, I want you to talk because I love when you share your experiences and your understanding. That helps us to shape the course or shape the session further. Okay. So are we good on this note? I think we will start with today's session. I think Ravindra is there also to listen. Ravindra, I am just, thank you so much for taking this till now. I am just starting with the session now.
Yes, please go ahead, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks.
Yes, yes, most welcome. Yes, most welcome. So here we are starting with this very simple yet very powerful understanding. So before starting with waterfall, can you see this particular diagram, guys? Waterfall method. Yeah, is it? Yeah, it's refreshed now, right? Can you see this? All of you, please
Yes.
unmute yourself. I will love if you unmute yourself and keep talking. Okay. So can anybody just tell me why, by looking at this diagram, just vaguely, why it is called waterfall model? Just some observation on this image.
Because
Why
it's
you
a step
feel?
by
Yes, yes, good.
is a step by step process, and it water and it flows from
Mm-hmm.
various different department like design,
Okay.
development team, testing team.
Okay,
It's
okay.
like
Others? Yeah, right, right. You're on track. I'm looking for some more particular detail which will hit. Yes. Anybody? Please feel
it's like
free.
you can say one direction just comes from top to bottom,
Yes,
just like a
Vandana.
waterfall.
Yes, yes. She's no. Shoiba has said something interesting. You also added something super interesting. Yes. Anybody else? Akhil, Babu, Nabila, you want to add something? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. If no, that's fine. Yeah.
They
Akhil?
both have covered it already. Yeah, just flows from the top to bottom kind of.
Absolutely. So all three of you already, at least as you answered, I'm assuming others also, you guys already know what is this. See, when we name a particular thing or particular model something, that name has that meaning or has that background. As earlier, Shoaiba mentioned that it is going from department to department. Vandana mentioned it is going from top to bottom, and you said it's flowing like water. That is what I was looking for. If you can see, it's like it follows only one direction. This. So the way when you go to any mountains or you visit any particular waterfall, it is unidirectional, right? It flows from top to down. Similar fashion, this project methodology means in a particular method how we manage a project. Okay. So that methodology is called as waterfall because it goes in one direction and it flows from top to bottom. Okay, you might find this little funny as of now, but don't worry. I'll let you know when we go further in other methodologies. We'll have spiral, we'll have agile, we'll have circular. So that is why this is very special, and this was the first or original way how the projects were handled or how the projects were executed. So I'll just ask each one of you to read out each block from me. And what do you understand by that block? Just by saying plain English. What do you feel? Okay, so we can start with maybe Nabila by just first word. What is that? Then the orange shape.
Requirements.
Yeah, and what do you understand by requirement? Just in plain English.
What's
No worries
required
about-
from it? What's needed?
Perfect. Absolutely right. What is required? What is needed? Absolutely. Yeah. Can we go to Shoiba, right? Shoiba for the next part?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the next part is design.
Okay. And
Uh,
why I asked you the design is because you have designed so many nice flows earlier, which I was watching. So yeah. Yes. So why design?
So the requirements need to be, the plans need to be designed, how we can proceed with the requirements. So so with the help of design, we will build some methods, and we will jot down this is our requirement. So this is the way we will proceed, and this is the way we will design the requirements.
Yes. So basically we'll have different kind of flow diagrams, activity
Yes.
diagrams, analysis, anything that is more of understanding from design point of view, right? Okay.
Yes.
Great. Now I'll go to Babu. When Babuji, what is the next part states? And what do you understand?
Development.
Perfect. Yes, perfect. And what do you feel when we say this word development? What is your understanding by that?
After the design stage, we need to develop further from the design stage.
Yes, so we have to work on it, right? Yes, absolutely. Now who is left? I think Akhil can explain us about the next part.
Sure. So
Akhil, what do we
testing
have?
is
Perfect. Yeah, testing.
testing, right?
Yes.
So typically,
Go
once you have your blueprints, once you have developed what you designed, you obviously need to test it before you can deploy it. So whether
Wow.
working, not
I
working.
don't feel that you guys are new to IT. The kind of language, the kind of selection of words you have, it's so appropriate. So I'm really happy. So yes, right on point. Once we develop, we need to test it before sharing with the customer. Yes. And last but not the least, I think Vandana, can you please explain the darker red, orange or reddish point? What is mentioned there?
The deployment is basically once the product
Yes.
is developed and tested, then it is put in put in production, and
Right.
then
So See,
And
this is the earlier ex-IT person talking. Do you get that, Vandana? You were saying you're rusty and all. I don't buy that. Please don't feed all these things to yourself. Absolutely not. Our mind is our best friend and best enemy as
no,
well. So
no,
the way you
I'm
explain deployment, I think you can go ahead and give a presentation. I don't
I'm
know why you're
I'm
saying
ru-
that.
no, I'm
Yeah.
rusty. I'm rusty in the terms that I am myself not doing it, but 24/7 I'm listening to my husband because he's in IT.
Oh,
So
so it's actually I don't know how you call it. It's kind of a surrogate learning for you in a way, or it's a
all the
parallel
time
learning. Yeah, great,
I'm
great.
doing
This is
this.
the advantage. Yes,
So I'm
yes,
doing
yes.
this, and at the same time, my husband is actually getting into cloud. So
Yeah, wow,
24/7.
that's
Uh,
awesome. That's
so
awesome,
I'm
actually.
doing I'm doing Azure fundamentals and Azure.
Wow,
So I'm getting
wow.
into
It's
cloud at the
pretty
same
hot
time.
in the market, you know that, right? It's
That
very good.
that's why he
It's
wants me to do that
yes.
also at the same time. So I'm doing that.
Great, 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 great for you. So yeah, last but not the least, I'll take that maintenance part. So maintenance is maintenance, as in you got to maintain that thing. So now let me give you some, IT background to this, with a very simple and very fun example which I love to give. I am a complete foodie, and I mostly relate our IT functionalities and concepts to actual real life experiences in IT and along with food. So if you're not a foodie, that's not the best part. But if you are, you're gonna enjoy it thoroughly. So now here, this example, I would like to kind of correspond to a particular party hosting at your place. Okay, for example, if your kid's birthday, or if it's your birthday and you want to host a party and you want to follow this method, how would you do that? Let me explain. So assuming you have set of 20 friends, and you are hosting a party for them, and so the requirement is you have 20 people to visit your place, and you're gonna offer dinner for them. So this is your requirement. Okay, I'm not getting into nitty-gritties of veg, non-veg, and what will be the cuisine. So the simple thing is you're gonna cook for them at home for 20 people. This is your requirement. Okay, now you come, and in IT, when you do this, you get into entire details, starting with what menu, what codes, what dessert, what detailing. So all that is inbuilt part of requirement. Here I'm just, for simplicity's sake, for the overall understanding point of view, I'm giving you this example. Okay, so you gather all the information: who is veg, who is vegan, who is non-veg, who wants gluten-free, whatnot you have jotted down, and that all the detailing is the requirement part. Now comes the design. The design is, okay, how and what quantity you're going to prepare a dish. If you're going to prepare a soup, for how much quantity. If you're going to prepare a particular I say rice, pulao, or a biryani, for whatever you like, how much quantity, what level of spice. So all that design goes in your head. You're still not prepared it, you're still planning it. When we have something major, we discuss with our spouse or with our family, with our friends, okay, I have to do this. So now this is the design part, because you already know what is the requirement. For example, per se, if you have all the people for that particular day, they'll be having only veg food. So then your entire designing would shift to, okay, how I should make a salads, how should I make a fruit salad, or pudding, or all that. So you'll shift your focus on food, on veg food. Your design will be accordingly, it will be veg oriented. If you have particular set of people who are heavily into non-veg, okay, what kind of meat I have, should I have the fish fingers, should I have this chicken biryani, or whatever. So that way your design changes as per requirement. Okay, in this example, try to get the essence of it. I love this example because we can relate to it, but while I'm explaining it, try to understand the core. Okay, as per the requirement, your designs change. It is different for veg, it's different for non-veg. Yeah, I'll just request others to go on mute if possible. Yeah, because my voice is echoing. Yeah, thank you so much. Then the third part is Development. Development means when you actually do the hardcore work, okay? The coding part, the integration part. So, for example, in our scenario, it will be the actual cooking part, okay? So you're actually cooking the biryani, you're actually making the salads, you're actually making the dessert or kheer or ice cream, whatever it is, you know. So this is the part where you actually put in all the efforts and you work on it and you prepare the dishes, you know, you prepare the entire spread for your friends and your family, okay? Now the best part, and in IT, that is actually with respect to the coding, you know, the coding and the integration and, you know, different teams handling the coding, the designing as in the development, the web designing part also comes in. See, designing and web designing is different. When you have the design, after that in development, how you see a particular website, for example, everybody must have seen Facebook. Yes, right? Everybody uses Facebook. Give me yeses or no's. Yes.
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 Yes. So how does Facebook look? It has a blue page. It has from left side your picture, your details, and the top you can write about your status. You know, you have your post. So that is the design, how the page looks. That also comes in the earlier design phase, and then on that design in the development phase, actual work happens. Okay. So imagine you have cooked all the dishes. And now the best part that comes in testing. So what do? You take a spoonful of every dish and taste, oh, is the salt fine? Is the spices good? Is it cooked properly? You know, does it need more baking or anything? So you just have a testing part before actually serving it to the people. And then the point comes as deployment. Deployment means, hey, you have everybody, your friends and family at home, and you are actually presenting the spread to them. You have arranged your food nicely on the dinner table or outside in your yard. You know, it's all placed beautifully with all the nice crockeries, with the places, the plates and spoons, everything. So that is like deploying at a client side. So you're actually offering them. So I have prepared this, I have developed this, and I'm deploying this. And the final, last but not the least, while they're enjoying this nice spread, you are ensuring that nothing is falling short of. You're serving them, you're ensuring you're taking care that if somebody needs a salt, you're getting the salt checker, you know, everything. If somebody's, liking it, you're serving them more. If somebody, like that. So you're maintaining the entire decorum, right? So trust me, did you have any doubts in this example? You can have, please feel free. Then I'll just correspond this to IT part. Yeah. And by the way, did you enjoy this example? Did you actually had a virtual tour of a small party in your brain? I would really like to know. If not, then we'll have to work it on more. Yes. Yes. Are you comfortable with this example? Yes. Did you have a virtual tour of how to have a party or any recent party you had? Right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Others, all okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your yeses. So, okay. Now I will respond this to our what I would say, IT part. Okay. And in this, I'll take help of this screen. So again, I'll request you to, if you guys remember who started with what? Who took the first point? Requirements. I would like them to read out. I think it was Akhil. Akhil, did you read out the requirement part? If not, then please start here. Can you please read out this for me? Yeah.
No, I think I remember taking up the testing part.
Testing part. So who took the requirement gathering?
Nabila took.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Oh, great. Yeah. See, on point. You all remember. Great. So Nabila, request you to read out the first part. Yeah, the requirement part.
Gathering and analysis. All possible
Perfect.
requirements of the system to be developed are captured in this phase and documented in a required specification document.
Okay. Okay. So what did she read? That in this phase, we capture all the requirement of the system that have to be developed. And they are captured and they are documented. So I'm not sure I think you all have studied FSD and BRD. functional specification document or business requirement document. Have you all studied that, or is it yet pending?
We
Yeah.
We covered.
studied.
Yeah.
Oh, great. So you know what an FSG is, it has all the details of all the project that has to be worked upon. So that all, so now here taking an example of if somebody wants to create a lookalike or similar website of Facebook, and they come up and say, I need this website and I need to look like just like Facebook, but just in, maybe not in the blue color. I want it in orange color just for the namesake. Okay, this is going to go with some popping out color. So their requirement is, okay, I want this background in orange color. I don't want the name as Facebook. I want the name as Notebook, and I want people to have what I would say, video calls like how you and WhatsApp, group video call. I want to have my data always upfront in front of me on my homepage. So all these are their requirements. So imagine you're working on an orange notebook, which is it is a Facebook lookalike, and this is your requirement, right? So all these requirements, okay, they want this picture, they want their family picture to be displayed as a banner. All this required, whatever they give, this is a part of your requirement gathering and analysis, and you specify that in document. Okay, that is a BRD or FSD. Now, very, very important point I would like to highlight here is, many a times as customers, as clients, they do not have any technical background, or they do not know the capabilities of what we can work on, and they can ask for variety of things which are not practically feasible. In my terms, I call them, they ask for the moons and the stars. Okay, so whenever we work on any project, there are some pointers which we always have to remember. Those are like, what is the timeline of the project, what is the cost of the project, and who are required resources in the project. Okay, so why am I saying this cost, timelines, and resources is because we are working on this project in a commercial setup. It's in an organization, and that definitely is working on this project for profit making. So we have to ensure that we do not overcome the cost, as in, if our budget is 10 per se, if our budget is $10,000, we have to ensure we develop within that. And how that budget is spent? The budget is spent on resources, on the people who work, the development team, the testing team, the maintenance and deployment team. So all of them have to be paid. So all of their expenses have to be incurred in that. So we have to ensure that if a customer is asking for something way too much, and it is not covered in that budget, then we'll have to politely decline, or I have to tell them that this requirement is gonna, we have to charge you more for that. If you're okay with the additional charges, then we can go ahead, and additional timelines. So for example, in your scenario, in your party scenario, if someone comes and tells me, hey, I really want to have a cheesecake. So now that cheesecake making is kind of a time consuming task. So you're going to tell them, hey, are you good if I make it tomorrow? Because now I'm already serving with the, with the existing friends and family, or we can have it over a weekend on one-to-one, outing. So is it okay? Right now I will not be able to serve you. So you have to be also upfront, because in industry, in a company, when you're working as a BA, Scrum Master, product owner, as a project manager, you are there to ensure that it is for the benefit of the company. So yes, requirement gathering and analysis. Why the word analysis? Because you analyze what the customer asks is, and that way you have to give your yeses and no. And no as in is a very polite way. You have to tell them that we would need extra timelines, extra resources, and extra funds for this. And if you're okay with it, we can add this or inculcate this. If no, then we might have to take it in a later project in a different budget. Okay. So
Yeah,
are we good with requirement?
I remember from the old times, we used to say this as requirements gathering and feasibility analysis.
Perfect. Yeah. Feasibility is the same as we just studied, that is it doable or not? Because many a times customers, because they do not have a technical background, or in plain some words, because they are just needy, greedy at times, they ask for many things, and that's fine, right? As a customer, you can ask, but it's up to us how much to serve them, with keeping the benefit of organization or profit of organization in your mind. Okay, right. So are we good? Anybody anybody has any doubts, they feel they did not understand what does the requirement gathering and analysis means? Yes, please feel free, unmute yourself and ask. Yeah, or are we good? Yes.
Yes.
Great. I'll keep asking you. So you gotta unmute yourself in between. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm adding that extra work to you, but that is the beauty of this session. Okay. So yeah, so I remember design part I had requested Shoiba. So
Yes,
yeah, can you please read out?
system design, the requirement specification from first phase are studied in this phase and the system design is prepared. This system
Right.
design helps in specifying hardware and the system requirements and helps in defining the overall system architecture.
Absolutely right. Now in this particular detailing, sorry, the word architecture is very important. Okay. What we are saying that once we are done with requirement gathering in this particular phase, we have to specify what is the design. So what all documents earlier Shoiba had displayed and you have worked on entity diagram, relationship diagram, process flow diagram, all these diagrams are a part of the system design. Okay, so how the system works. If you're logging into system, how you log in. Okay, you give your user ID and password. If that is right, you're entered into your home page. If it is not, you're redirected to a page stating your user ID and password is wrong. Please use proper user ID and password. If not, if you forget, reset the password. So all of you know these things because you're working on some applications or some apps like or some Facebook and things like that. So you have already done that. So all that is actually designed. Okay, all that is actually first designed on paper, majority of it, and it is kind of, and not kind of, it has to be approved from the architect. Okay, so that is the word architecture. So you remember whenever there is any big infrastructure going on, any huge building or any complex, they have those blueprints. Have you seen that in the movies? Or the architect guys have those blueprints, right? They have these
Yes,
diagrams of the buildings, of the complex, where the road would be, where the electric part would be, the department would be, how the tower will look. So same way, not in that much detail, but definitely from IT point of view, with the help of all those designs, a flow chart, entity diagram, all this, we prepare the documentation. And why it is important? Why, you ask me? Because in tomorrow, in future, if a customer say, oh, we did not ask for this particular, see, it happens in the flow of argument or discussions, the further the thought process develops, the customer may say, I did not ask for this particular function, I asked for some other function. The customer may come and say, I did not ask for my family picture to be on the banner, I asked for my dog's picture to be on the banner. Then you can go back to the FSD and design document stating, see, this design or and this FSD, we have mentioned that you had earlier confirmed that you want your family picture as a banner. So all these things are like our proof wherein we can always fall back upon, and which kind of creates a sound background, or is the stepping stone for starting your project. So that is why for a good software development practice, requirement gathering, analysis and feasibility study and system design are integral part, right? They're absolutely integral part. Okay. So after that, I think implementation, I had asked Babuji, if I'm not wrong. Babu, did I ask you?
I actually did for the development,
right?
in fact.
Yeah,
Yes.
that is the same part as implementation. Yes.
Okay,
yes,
development,
yeah.
yes.
Please read out.
Yes.
Yeah.
With inputs from the system design, the system is first developed in small programs called units, which are
Perfect.
integrated in the next phase.
Right.
Each unit is developed and tested for its functionality, which is referred to as unit testing.
Absolutely right. Now, how you can relate this with your accounting part? See, for example, if you were looking accounts per se for an organization, so you can start with your just for simplicity's sake. You can start with your HR, then you can start with your IT, then you can start with your maintenance. So you definitely have different set of books for all the departments, right? This is how accounting goes. Correct me if I'm wrong. I am not an expert in that field, but as far as what basic understanding I had, you go department wise, and then you have your final book for the entire organization, wherein you have inputs from all the departments, right, Babu?
Correct.
Yes. So that similar way, see, going back to the food example, guys, this is morning time in India. This is my breakfast time. So I always go back to the food examples. Please bear with me if you are not a foodie. So going back to our earlier party example, whenever you are preparing a particular dish, per se biryani, why I'm taking biryani because it's a known dish to everybody. They all know how it looks and how it tastes. So, first what you do, first you kind of soak the rice in the water or boil it. Apart from that, along with that, you prepare all the masalas or all the gravy. If it is a veg, all the vegetables cut and saute and all that. So you go in units. You just can't make something in together. You always go by, if it is a particular curry dish, you'll saute your tomatoes and onions and ginger and garlic and all that. If it is a dessert, you'll first boil milk. So it goes step by step. So those steps in IT are called as units. Okay, so you go unit wise, and you obviously do testing. So when you saute the vegetables, you ensure they're properly cooked. They're not half cooked or half baked. So you do that. When you're rinsing or you're boiling your rice for the biryani, you ensure that your rice is enough cooked to add into the biryani. So this is, all this process is called as unit testing, because you're checking all those small parts. When Babuji used to work on departments or in accounting, he used to ensure that every department's books of accounts are perfect. If it is HR, their all details, their salary, what bonuses they got, what all their incentives they got as per their work, they are mentioned properly. For IT, their projects, profits have been properly mentioned, any losses they are properly mentioned. So all these units combined form an organization. So same way, all these units in IT, in application or project development, when you combine, these are small units, and then when we combine, it's form as a unit testing. So this is the way, if you have to understand from our orange notebook example, which is a replica of Facebook, you have developed the chatting part, you have developed the homepage part, you have developed the login part. And when you test all them individually, they are called as unit, right? So this is how when we develop something in waterfall, we do the unit testing. That is fine. So individual units are tested. They are not yet combined. They are kind of individually tested. Okay. So are we good on this? Any doubts?
No.
The silence will be considered as no. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, so I think Akhil did take the testing part. So now we have integration and testing. Yeah, Akhil.
Prerna, I had a quick question. This is Vandana.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Is implementation the right word to use here? Because to my understanding, it should be development here, and implementation is basically
yes.
Once the system is integrated and tested, then you implement it. Implementation and deployment are kind of synonymous as per my understanding.
Honestly, if you ask me, in current lingo, development and implementation goes hand in hand. The last word after development is deployment. So deployment generally do not have any much synonymous. See, implement means implement at not client location, in your in-house development or in your organization. What happens, why it is called as, see, first of all, you're right, it should be development, but again, if you have it as an implementation, that means you're developing or you're implementing that logic. Okay, you're working on that logic. So taken, but then in current IT, both these words go hand in hand. So it you can refer to as development, you can refer to as implementation. As for this diagram, yes, do refer as development, but then if someone in company, in an organization, they say, we are implementing this logic, we are implementing this functionality. So don't feel shocked or, it should not surprise you. It means they are developing, right? So this is more or like a current lingo nowadays when they say it's, we are implementing this particular logic. That's why it is mentioned, but it is development only. So are we good?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, fine. Thank you, thank you. And really good. I really like when people ask question, that means there's something going on inside you and you have thought over it and you're coming up with your expression on it. So please do ask question. Okay, going back to Akhil. Yeah, this last point, please.
Integration and testing. All units
Yes.
developed in the implementation phase are integrated into system after testing of each unit. Post integration, the entire system is tested for faults and failures.
Perfect, perfect. So what do we understand by this? In the earlier implementation or development phase, we had unit testing wherein we had individually, like, and while preparing biryani, I had tested rice separately, I had tested my vegetables separately, I had tested my gravy separately, or whatever. In integration testing, in integration and testing, as the word suggests, I integrate all the units. Okay, I combine them. I ensure that their flow is working fine. In example of Babuji's earlier work, I do not go only department wise. As an organization accounts, I combine or I integrate HR, IT, maintenance, support, vendors, so whatever. So all that is being integrated and all that is tested. So that is very essential, because when we're going to deliver to the customers, we are not going to give them in units and bits and pieces. We're going to offer them as a one go. So that is why integration and testing is very essential. And testing, in IT, we have a dedicated testing team for it. Okay. We have a particular team whose whole and soul work is to test the application and to find out the hidden issues, or find out if there is any issues, and that if the test fails, they have to get back to the developer. So it is like an eternal war between the development team and testing team. So if you have a buddy from testing team, you're gonna have some nice rounds of arguments, on daily basis. So, our part as a development team is to build something, and their part as a testing team is to ensure, or to ensure here while this phase, if something fails, if the testing fails, we have to tell them, because it's always better when we find out any issues while development and testing phase than to go back to the customer after deployment and they finding it out, right? So it's like how you do any particular dance practice at home before performing. So it's like you're testing on your home ground, at your in your environment, and then once the testing teams gives a go no go, they gives a green signal, then we can go ahead. So testing is an essential integral part, and they do unit testing. There are a variety of testing which we are not going to get into it. So they do in detail automated or manual testing. They ensure that, okay, if you are created this orange notebook kind of lookalike of Facebook, are people able to chat? So they'll have their 10 team members to start initiating the chat. If the chat functionality is working fine, then it is okay. If the banner of your particular photo is not getting uploaded, they'll raise a issue that, okay, your photo is not getting uploaded or your data is not getting displayed. So testing is essential, and always remember, we never deploy or deliver before testing. It's not a good practice and nobody follows it. Okay, so tomorrow you go to any organization and they're talking about deployment, the first question that comes to your mind is, that should be, are we good with the testing? Has testing team give us a go no go? Are we good? Have we fixed all the scenarios that were, or all the issues raised by testing team? And I think it's pretty logical also. You just cannot deliver something before testing it for yourself that is working fine or not, right? It actually goes by logic. So are we good on this? Can I move to the next slide, please?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So who took the deployment part?
I did.
Or that was
Vandana.
me. Yeah. Go ahead, Vandana.
Deployment of the system. Once the functional and non-functional testing is done, the product is deployed in the customer environment or released into the market.
Perfect. So now here is an interesting word. It's called two words, functional and non-functional. What do they mean? Functional means if I'm clicking on a particular chat and the chat window is not opening, or you know, or when I click on, when I log in, I have to go to my home page and I'm not going to my home page, I'm going to the chat window, anything like that. So that is functional. So I wanted my website to look like this, and it is not looking like this. So that is the thing. When I say non-functional means that can be technical. That is when somebody is clicking on a particular chat window and error window is popping up, or you know, you have that 404 error page. It's an universal error. You know, you get that white screen and 404, or sometimes you get that error pop up when saying there's an error. Have you ever faced that on Google or any
Yes,
particular
yes.
website? Yes.
Yes.
So that, yeah, so we want to avoid that. That's really an ugly page to show. So how we avoid it, we like, okay, sorry for inconvenience, we're working on it, or we can have some toolbars running, you know, just showing that we are working on it. So we have to handle all that. So once we've done all that, we deploy. So now deploying is, see, we do all the development and testing in our environment. That is called as development environment, or you know, testing environment. After that, before deployment, we also have an environment called UAT, that is user acceptance testing. So many a times when we say about testing, some users from customer side also take part in the testing. It's not always, but many a companies nowadays, you know, companies who are tech savvy, who have their individual technical department, those people like to be involved, and they also do testing. So once that testing is done, that all consider right now the baby, as in the project is in your hands, you know, it's in your infrastructure. So tomorrow when it want to be deployed, whether it can be cloud or whether it can be on the company's company's server, we actually kind of migrate. So take your application from your company to their company server, you know, deploying, testing, ensuring it is working fine, you know. So now it is actually live. You know, when we say something is going live, this is all happens. You deploy at their portal, you know, you have to manage their servers, ensuring everybody is able to access. If there is some firewall, everything from pen to piano. You guys do not have to get into the nitty-gritties of it, but I'm just giving the background of it. You know, all these things happens in the background, and then it is deployed. The system is deployed. That's why it's called as system deployment, or deployment of system at the client side. Okay, so now everything is in client, on the client's machine and server, and they can access. Earlier, if they wanted to access, if you guys, I think Vandana can relate to this. I'm not sure about others, but if you guys work in any organization and they are having some development done, you know, and first they give you some URL or some link, and they have to copy, paste it, and write it and test it, because they say, you know, it's not deployed yet, so we'll give you the live link later. So the thing is, earlier they give you some link, that those are links or those are URLs, you know, like it can be like testing.com, or you know, something testing. So that is like when you are actually working, testing on it, and once it is live, you can actually type in the website like amazon.com, google.com, facebook.com, you know, guruschools.com. So like that the work happens. So yes, that is a deployment part of it. And I'll just request Vandana to continue about the warranty, support, maintenance part.
There are some issues which come up in the client environment. To fix those issues, patches are released. Also, to enhance the product, some better versions are released. Maintenance is done to deliver these changes in the customer environment.
Right. And the next part also, please.
All these phases are cascaded to each other, in which progress is seen as flowing steadily downwards like a waterfall through the phases.
Right.
The next phase is started only after the defined set of goals are achieved for previous phase, and it is signed off. So the name waterfall model. In this model, phases do not overlap.
Absolutely right. Okay. So going back to the maintenance part, see, if now they have used the word client environment. So if they are initiating the client environment, see, there can be, you know, sometimes, for example, the internet speed is slow. Sometimes they require hardware which they need. You know, the hardware, when I say like the servers or the memory, you know, or the RAM, that might not be up to level what is required for that application. So all that can happen. For that, we again do the testing, and Once that is done, that is why we have this maintenance part. So, after deployment also, we have to ensure that everything is running smooth, everything is running properly, and, all the delivery is done well, and the client is able to access that, right? So this covers your entire waterfall method. And as in the last sentence, it is mentioned, it is linear, it just goes downwards. It goes one by one. That is why it is called as waterfall method. Okay. So, and this is the basic, the first and the simplest form of development methodology. Now we'll see some of the advantage of it and disadvantage of it for today. Yeah. So what are the advantage of this? That it allows a departmentalization and control. Okay, so it's like you have control on each and every segment. So the requirement gathering process is fully fledged. Nobody intervenes into that, and you are able to do it completely. And once it is done, then only you go to design, right? So like that, every department or every segment is working independently and they have their own control. Okay, so there is no intervention from other department. That's one. Second, a schedule can be set with deadlines for each stage of development, and product can place through the development process model phase by one. A phase is one by one. So this means if I have these 6 or 5 phases, and then I have to have a timeline, and then I have to go by strict timeline. So for example, my requirement and gathering phase and analysis design phase, analysis phase can take, say, maybe 15 days. I'm taking a fortnight for understanding, and the next phase should take, design phase should take 10 days, because we don't want to have exclusive or too much of designing. We should have designs of only important pages or important functionalities. Then the development part will have 2 months, because development usually takes time. It is a lot of unit, development of particular units and all that. So imagine these are the timelines given to this, and you have to follow this strict timelines. Okay, and one by one, like that. The next point is developments move from concept to design, implementation, testing, installation, troubleshooting, ends up at operation and maintenance. So basically there is a clear-cut bifurcation of each phase. So there is a clarity, people are more comfortable, and they are, see, this is all very suitable for slow-paced project, school project, HR related project, all these projects, we are not they are not time bound. We are okay if the project runs slow, if it is developed not by 2 months, after 3 months, or after 2 years or 1 year. So that's why it's very comfortable and easy to follow things for such kind of projects. Yeah, and if we have learned this, each phase of development proceeds in strict order, absolutely, and it's very easy to follow and execute. So being easy and being simple is also nowadays very important. So that is why this model was in use earlier very well, for its simplicity. Okay, are we good? Now we are moving on to disadvantages. Are we good with the advantages, guys? Yes.
Yes.
I think it's a yeah.
Yes.
I think it's a yes. Thank you so
Yes.
much. Yeah. Now, I'll just request you one by one to just start reading the disadvantages. Then I'll give you a brief at the end. Yeah. We'll have the same order. Yeah. Go ahead.
Working software is produced until late during the cycle.
Okay.
During the life cycle. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah. No working software is produced until late during the life cycle. Okay. Yes. Next.
High amounts of risk and uncertainty.
Perfect. Next. Just go.
Not a
line
good,
by line.
not a good model for complex and object-oriented projects.
Perfect. Next. I think it was Vandana or Akhil.
Akhil.
Akhil, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. Poor model
It's
for
okay.
long and ongoing projects.
Yes, Vandana.
Not suitable for the projects where requirements are at a moderate to high risk of changing.
Perfect. Going back to Nabila again.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's difficult to measure progress within stages.
Yes. Yeah, Shoiba?
Yeah, cannot accommodate changing requirements.
Yes.
Adjusting scope during the life cycle can end a project.
Yes, yes. And next, last point by Akhil again.
Integration is done as a
Bhai,
big
darwaza
bang.
band kara. Jali. Yes.
Yeah. Can I say
So,
that?
yeah, please.
Yeah, sorry. Integration is done as a big bang at the very end, which does not
Yeah.
allow identifying any technological or business bottlenecks or challenges early.
Okay. So can any of like all of you give me any of the points which you understand? What do they mean by this? What is your understanding when you read out these disadvantages? It can be any point. It not be the point which you took. Yeah. What do you feel? What are they trying to say here? I'm just sipping some water.
Yeah, that's not a good model for a complex and object-oriented project. As you have told, given the example of slow project like HR project, that are not an object. They can be done. That is not a less priority project. For a high priority, I think this is not a good model.
Okay, perfect. So now, as you're taken this, anybody else? Yeah, please feel free to add. I want your understanding because if you understand it well, then we will know why are we going to study Scrum. Yes. Others, yeah, everybody has to share one pointers, please. This is
I
quite
was,
easy. There's nothing. Yeah, go ahead.
I was thinking more about cannot accommodate changing requirements. I feel that it's too
Absolutely,
rigid. Yeah.
absolutely.
So,
Yes, rigid is a great word. Thank you for
yeah.
adding, Akhil. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Babu, want to add something? What do you understand when you read this? Disadvantages? Yeah.
Cannot accommodate changing requirements. Sometimes it's
Mm-hmm.
difficult to accommodate their changing model.
When they change, yeah. When they change later in stage, yeah, perfect. Well said. What about Nabila? What do you feel? Yeah.
Timeline wise, like if you're on a time management stress level thing, it's not going to work out because the timing
Yes.
wise.
Time wise, it's pretty slow. Yes, right. Yeah, I think now Vandana is left.
It is difficult to measure the progress within stages because the thing is the end product, whatever we really need the product, we can only see it at the end. So we cannot really measure the progress.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
So I think you guys have already understood. The thing with waterfall is the best part is actually its drawback. Though in many years it was followed because it was simple, but then everybody realized that the simplicity was too much, and the project and this methodology could not be implemented or could not be used in complex projects. Like, see, for example, if you're working in research and development, if you're working in in space technology, the kind of technology they have, the kind of applications they have, do you think your research work can be like you gave requirements 6 months back and you develop today? Does research or innovations work like that, or they work like on snap? Like today they give you data, tomorrow or by the end of the day they want to see the output, right? This is how we have started working now in our life. Anything that is of past is absolutely obsolete, right? For example, I'll try to revive your memory. If you remember Facebook 12 years back, how was it and how it is now? It used to be a plain web page where you can see your photo and very, very less functionality. I think even that time chat was not even introduced. You could message your friends, you can write on their walls. That's it. It was actually like a notebook or a Facebook, simple as that. Now you can have polls, you can donate, you can advertise, you can do your business, you can chat, you can host events. I mean, I do not know. I don't use that much, but I think the what I would say, opportunities are endless on that same portal. So have you observed the way it has progressed, the way it has evolved? Same way for fast-paced technology, like for say automobile technology, you're working in a particular car, and their software you're working on. You can't work on some requirements given 6 months back. Maybe your competitor must have come up with something else in that period, and you want to rework on that. So you can't work on those earlier requirements. Your requirements will change, right? And also in this waterfall, what happens? All the departments work in isolation. They are not that connected. They are not communicating with each other, right? They only communicate when there might be a problem, when it's already too late. Like, have you seen in any particular movie or in real how the kitchen looks in any good restaurant? Everybody's talking. The chef is talking to them, do this, do that. They're asking them, is it fine? Is it oil fine? Is this fine? So they're communicating. It can't be like somebody prepares a dish and then they tell it's not fine. It's not like that. So in today's dynamic world, will we have very fast-paced requirement? Everything is changing very fast. Internet is giving you so much of exposure and so many new things. So requirements taken at the beginning will definitely change by the time. So by the time you develop the project, so what happens? You in this model, what used to happen? You give the requirement in January and you get to your application in December. So in that 1 year, if your preferences, if your choices have not changed, that's fine, but it's very unlikely, right? So that is why in the earlier times, when the things were simple, there were no much complexity, or for the simpler domains, which I've mentioned, like for HR payroll system or simple accounting system, or simple I'm saying, I'm using the word by, with an intention, appointment system, all these things, or even in colleges, when we work in the initial project, we used to ask to work on waterfall because this was the simplest, and every team could work in bundle. And also when your requirement gathering is going on, all other teams are sitting idle. Do you actually think in today's world that will be possible? Will the company pay you for not working or just sitting idle? What will the testing team when the requirement team is doing? Nothing, right? So this is actually used to happen earlier, which was not at all what I would say appropriate with the amount of budget on the timelines or even the requirement. So though it was simpler, easy to follow, and nice to do, in your own world in isolation for each department, it came up with disadvantage, and that is why, guys, my friends, we have to have this, to limit this implementation of the methodology, because it was not working for others. Your scope means your requirements were changing. Right now, our requirements on daily basis are changing. So you cannot stick to the requirement which we gave you 6 months back or 1 year back, right? So that is why the word or risk or uncertainty or, all these things are coming in. And that is why this waterfall model is not used that heavily or that to an extent as it was earlier. Okay. So
Yeah,
are we good? Yeah, please.
Yeah, once the end product is done and there is a new requirement, the whole phase has to be
How
repeated, right?
exactly?
The whole
And
phase.
the best part is once the product is developed and the customer says, no, I didn't want this, I wanted somewhere else. What are we going to do? Are we going to scrap it? So these are the practical problems being faced in waterfall, and that is why this is not widely used as of now. Okay. So I feel for today we have learned this age-old, super for its time methodology, and I want you all to sink in this. Have your day, understand this. From next on, we can start agile, and I can give you a comparative explanation of why and how agile evolved, and why the need for. You already know the advantages and disadvantage of it. So so anybody has any questions before we end this session for today? Because I want you to retain this things before starting any other new topic. So when today you go to sleep, the one thing that you need to have in your way is waterfall methodology. And I will recommend you See, normally I recommend all the participants to take pictures and take notes, like how we used to have how we used to take notes during your school or college times. You know, you used to have your notepad and pen and pencil. I'll encourage you to have a dedicated notebook for this. And not on a notepad and a notebook, because when you write something, it is very, very kind of, it is embarked or engraved in your memory, because you're writing, you're reading it, your all the senses are involved. So first of all, do take a picture of this model. So it will be in your mobile. So whenever you scroll through, you can go through, these pointers or requirements, design, development, testing, deployment, maintenance. And whenever we talk about these things, any particular points, I call them keywords. Do mention them, because these are very important when you give any interviews. So risk and uncertainty, or something like that, and say what all important words like integration. Pointers are very well important, but apart from that, some other important words like changing requirements, integration, high risk. So all these things, if you write down in your notebook, these things you have to use while you're giving interview, right? These keywords will be the point that the other person will know that, okay, you've understood the concepts, and where you come from, and everybody will be on the same page. Okay, guys. So before we start, before we end, I'm still in the starting mood. I just, this is the ritual which I follow and which I really like. Before we end, I'll request you to share what is your feedback of today's session. It can be a one word, it can be a one sentence, it can be like interesting, boring, complex, simple, but whatever you felt during this session, because it is very, what I would say, important for me to understand how would you feel about it. Okay, so yes.
This is Vandana, very well delivered.
Oh, thank you so much, Vandana. Vandana, thank you for your feedback, and please nominate somebody else's name. Yeah.
It was very
Hello,
interesting. Nice to know new things today.
Okay, great. Most welcome. I'm happy you learned something new and you found it interesting. Yes. Yeah, Babu, just please take somebody else's name. This is how we go.
Yeah, sure.
Nominate
Akhil.
someone else.
Akhil.
Yeah, Akhil, over to you.
Very interactive for me. I think
Yes.
interaction kind of helps, strengthen
Yes.
that cognition of that.
Great. If you ask me, interaction helps from helping someone from falling to sleep.
Especially Prerna, especially for
Yeah.
me and Akhil, we are in EST, so it's like almost 10:35 for
I
us.
was in EST.
Yeah.
So
Same
you
here.
can't deny that part. So you can't deny that part. Yes. No, see, I made it clear in the beginning. I wanted to share my expectation that we are here as a team. Though I'm training you guys but we are all a team, and your inputs matter most to me, because then I know how to shape the session and what kind of examples, what kind of real life scenarios to give. Right now, I've not shared any practical examples, because waterfall is not heavily used, so I couldn't correlate that to the real industry examples. But as we go further, we can have those kind of experiences shared, and I think you will be able to then coordinate them with the functions or whatever topics we learned. Yeah. So Akhil, please, thank you so much for your feedback, and please nominate someone.
Sarva?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sarva, please go ahead.
With a very plain language, you have made us understand what is waterfall, and the best part was being a foodie, and I love that biryani, that party example.
Yes.
And it engraved in my mind and brain. If I
Yes.
forget, then I will always remember that how you have told that biryani part.
Absolutely.
I
You
should
know
not
what?
forget that.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. And by the way, that is why we
Because
have these examples like
it's
the
easy,
orange Facebook. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
it's easy for us females, right, to understand now. We won't
Yes,
forget it, right?
and
It is easy for
and I
every
think
foodie. No
and
gender
I think
bias.
I'm just living off. I'm just surviving on food. I love to eat food.
Great, great, great. So you know why I gave those particular examples? Because in tomorrow, per se, if you're going for an interview and many times you are under that nervous or in that tense mode, and you if you don't recollect, even if you recollect the example, you can share on that basis, and it not be the same example, but if you know the understanding, you will definitely deliver what you wanted to share, right? So that is why I like to give such examples which are very easy to relate, which all of you know. Why complex or why complicate things when they can be easy, right? That is my personal funda of any learning. So yes,
Yes.
Sheba, please nominate the
Yeah,
person who is left.
Nabila.
Yeah, yeah, Nabila, please.
To follow. It was very easy to follow. You were very easy to
Great.
follow and understand.
Yes, yes, yes. You understood what we explained today, right? Even being your
Yes.
first session.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It was very
Thank you
easy.
so much.
You explained it very well.
Thank you so much. So see, this was my motive, as it was the icebreaker session for me as well. But trust me, being with you in this session, I did not feel that I didn't know you guys. The moment you introduce yourself, I could relate with you so well. That is why I wanted to know your background, so we can have we can next time we can have examples from healthcare or from some travel domain, and I will encourage you to talk on them. So yes, on this note, I would like to thank you all, and I'll just request you to rewatch this video again in your spare time, rewatch other trainers' video from same track, because you know what, the more we listen to, the more we grasp. And also, I know there are people like me who like to do multitasking. So when you're gardening, when you're cooking, when you're driving, when you're traveling, when you're doing something, just have your earphone plug in, and just listen to the video on little bit on a 1x speed or 1.5x speed, just in a little faster mode, and you're good to go. Because the more you listen, the more you'll grasp, because even when you want to, when you have to talk, when you have to give interviews, when you are a part of group discussions, when you're interacting with professional people, if you listen to these videos again and again, or if you talk to others, like in case of Vandana, she has an advantage that her husband is from IT, so she has someone to talk to. I think so. Today or tonight or tomorrow morning over breakfast, Vandana is going to have a detailed discussion about why waterfall was used and why it was scrapped. And I think you should have that with your husband, Vandana. So yes, for that session, because this is how you talk and you evolve and you understand more. The other person might share their experiences. Yeah, go ahead.
We have no time to sit with each other. He's so much into cloud learning. Yeah, he's so much into cloud learning. He's doing his job and then he's studying. So
that's fine. You can accompany him. You can accompany him whenever he study, and you can share your views as we are going ahead. So on this note, I would just like to again thank you all for being so cooperative and being so engaging, such a engaging audience, if I have to call it. And thank you so much, and do watch this video again. And in case of any doubts, I am in our group, you can WhatsApp me, message me, we can connect. And we will again connect mostly on coming Sunday this time, or Friday. I'll let you know that in advance. Okay. Thank you so much, and a very good night to all of you. Sleep well and take care. Bye-bye.
At the end, ladies,
yeah.
Happy Women's International Day.
Oh, happy International Women's Day to all the ladies and all the guys who support us and who are there with us, in the journey. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you, Vandana.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, guys. Good night. Bye-bye. See you soon. Thank you. Good night. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Very good.